Hello there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited today for this tutorial and to be able to share lots of great ideas with you. So I am Katie the Creative Lady, and you can find me online at katiethecreativelady.com. And I love to blog about all sorts of creative projects, but I especially love memory keeping and photography and scrapbooking. And my specialty is digital scrapbooking. But my ideas, especially the ones in this video, apply to all types of scrapbooking. So if you are a paper scrapper, I hope you'll still stay around as well. I'm going to talk today about tips and ideas for December scrapbook layouts. And this is a really fun time of year to document your memories. There's a lot of people who participate in something called December Daily that was started by Allie Edwards at allieedwards.com. And the idea is to document each day in December. So I'm going to go over a lot of ideas relating to that, but I wanted to start off by sharing the supplies I am going to use for one of my layouts here. And this is my new collection called Holiday Traditions. And I'm just going to walk you through it real quick. I have stickers that I've done. These are digital stickers. And I just wanted you to be able to see each individual design a little better. So we'll just kind of go through those. But they're kind of in the thought of these are the traditions that you can do. You can kind of reward yourself with a little sticker, or use something to check off on your layouts, or you can even use these for other little projects as well. But I just think they add a lot of color and pizzazz to your holiday pages, hopefully. And I tried to make them generic enough, or general enough, I guess I should say, that they work for many types of celebrating, no matter how you celebrate, whether it's Christmas or you just like the holiday season of December. And I have turned all of the stickers also into stamps and brushes, which these are even more flexible if you want to be changing colors, if you want to color them in yourselves. I have another video tutorial that's great for explaining how to use stamps and brushes. But the great thing about all of these digital supplies is you can use them over and over. You never run out. And just a quick look through what they look like as stamps, and lots of possibilities here. I love to include pocket cards in my collections. I scrap with a lot of pocket style pages. That's what a lot of my templates are designed like. These are just so easy to use, and it's so great to be able to just slip these into photo slots, use them for some journaling or for some decoration. And I have just another quick browse through these. I love to have lots of space to tell my stories. And sometimes you just want to add something festive and fun. And you get all sorts of holiday icons in this set. And I always include 3x4s and 6x4s so that no matter which orientation you like for scrapping, you have options. I like to mix them both myself. And the paper pack, this ended up being one of my favorite paper packs to design. I have to tell you, this collection took me a really long time to design because I wanted it to be so perfect to be able to use with my own holiday photos as well. And I just really put a lot of thought into it and ended up falling in love with these elements and papers, as I always seem to do. And just to look through the papers, you got to have your chimney for your St. Nick pictures, and green stripe is always going to be useful. And plaids, I just love plaids, especially at Christmas time, and some cute Christmas trees. And the yellow kind of check plaid, and I love this word paper with all the words that kind of came to my mind as I was designing this set. Snowflakes, if you live in a cold and snowy area or dreaming of a white Christmas, and then lots of stars and presents and polka dots, just to add really some cute touches and bring that seasonal feeling to it. It's mistletoe ended up being so pretty that I wanted a paper from that too. And I always include solids for all the colors. I don't usually show them in my walkthroughs here because you can kind of see them on the preview, but I put a few in here so you can take a look at those too. And these ornaments are really just lots of fun to use on pages like this. And I like to include template sets to kind of help you have a guide on how to scrap with some of these supplies. So I've included some sticker spaces if you wanted to use them, and a variety of page layouts, including one with a great big photo, because for me, holiday photos often deserve a real big highlight. So that's one where you can just use the space below to explain what the photo is. Or you can also leave that part off if you'd rather. I always include single page and double page templates. And even if you don't use the double page templates, it's kind of nice to see how they look next to each other. And that might help you as you're putting together single pages. So the best way to always buy my supplies would be to get them in the bundle, because I offer extra savings on that. And that's the most economical way to do it. If you like several pieces in the collection, this is your best way to do that. So for December layouts, I'm just going to show you a bunch of my layouts and I'm going to talk about them. So more than this being an exact tutorial, it'll be more like an idea sharing session, and I hope that you will enjoy that, something a little different this time. So I used the supplies from this news collection to make this page, and I included the story about our stay at the Grand, and one of our many stays, thankfully, and included that this is a holiday tradition for our family. I love the colors, the way that they let the photos really pop on the page. I tried several different colors of paper on this layout and actually let my son choose, and he really liked the holiday blue, the kind of the darker blue. And I have to agree with him. I thought it turned out really pretty. I also have an older collection that I released last year. I've never done a tutorial around it, so I don't know if my YouTube watchers have looked through this kit or not, this collection, but I won't go through the whole collection, but I just wanted to at least show you the previews, because I really love these colors too for Christmas. And there are lots of great elements and papers for this set as well. And it also comes with a template set and stamps and brushes. And I created this page last year using this set. Still, I really like this layout and the way that it turned out. And here's another one that if you watch my tutorials, you will have seen this on the one where I talk about using standard size pages, and I turned this into a 12 by 12 layout. And then this is a page that my daughter created last year using that set. So I wanted to kind of give you a feel for the supplies that I have available to help you document your holiday memories, and to talk a little bit about how to approach this. So I have done December daily at times. The prompts that I'm talking about from Allie Edwards, where she recommends documenting each day. Now she'll do a page for each day, and a lot of people who follow along do that as well. I have not ever used that approach. For me, I like to include multiple photos. I don't usually narrow it down to just one story of the day, like based on one photo. I will often, sometimes I will go through a theme. So in this case, I decided that on December 7th of the year that I was scrapping this, which was 2011, that I was going to kind of focus on the foods and treats of December. And you can see I even included a little from December 8th. So that ended up being a great way for me to do it. Now, I just include these in my regular family photo books. Some people do separate albums just for their December pages, which I also think is a great idea. But a couple of ideas to highlight from this. I took a picture in the grocery store of the display. I'm glad I did that. I mean, it changes each year. It's interesting to see. I took my phone with me, and of course, this was in 2011. It wasn't as good a phone camera back then, but it certainly did the job. I took that with me to Target while I went shopping for treats and also a grocery store. And then I used to keep glass jars on my counter with treats in them and even some red and green chips. I would put these baskets out and display my holiday magazines and cookbooks, and my kids and I used to love to look through those. We'd sit and look through those as we ate our breakfast or lunch. So hopefully those are some little ideas for you to think about. Also, as we were being served this delicious cake, and I can't remember where it was, I know it was at a party, I took a picture of that. So including a wide variety of photos based on one theme is a great way to tell the story as well. Here's a double page spread I did, and this was in 2013, and this represented a week of December. So instead of trying to worry about telling the story of each day, I told the story of the week and talked about some of the things that we did. I made sure I had a picture of each one of us in our family, and it includes non-holiday events like my son taking a test. He was in a homeschool program at that point. Actually, it was past homeschool. He was taking an online college class, and so we had to go to a local library for him to take a test. We went to a company party for my husband's work. I just have a picture of my daughter and I wearing our matching snow boots. And the show we went to included a screenshot of the weather because it was kind of hazy and yucky. And just a funny photo of my husband wearing a gift from my nephew. And so you can see just a general overview of the week. If you feel like you have to document each day and that's too overwhelming for you, this is a great approach to take as well. And it's one I've used frequently. This page is from 2014, and for many years, we had Lego Advent calendars. If you know me and my family, you know that we really love Lego. And the Lego Advent calendars are always so fun. And for many years, we would do, my daughter would do the Lego City one, and my son would do the Lego Star Wars. And then after my daughter left the house, I kind of took over doing the Lego City calendar, and my son continued on with Lego Star Wars. And it's fun to take pictures of the surprises each day that you get from the calendar. And you can see I didn't do a lot with this. I just created a collage of the photos, made sure I represented what we experienced with the calendar, and just documented that on a pocket card. And that is my layout. And it's still really a favorite of ours to look back at this. Here's one that's it's a pocket scrapping approach with a little bit of embellishment. Now, some of these are quite old layouts, and so, I apologize that you wouldn't be able to find probably the same supplies that I used with these. But there are that's just one thing that happens sometimes with digital scrapbook designers. The stores they're in, they get full and they need to delete some of their old supplies. I'm trying to not do that in my store. I'm trying to keep all of my kits as I go. I eventually probably will have to change a little bit as the store starts to get really full, but I think we're a few years away from that. Anyway, this page, there's a little card here. This one is from Allie Edwards back then. And this was a handout that we got from the Grand America. These are windows at the Grand America. And I took a picture of each window, and then I put each one of those into a photo slot and just kind of explained that we also saw displays for these windows as well. Now there's an opposing page to this layout too that shows more photos from this adventure. But I like this page as an example of what you can do with holiday layouts because I didn't focus on just one color scheme or sticking just to Christmas elements. I show a lot of different photos here. I have a lot of different scenes, so I felt like I needed to kind of keep my background simple and let the photos tell the story, and then add these 2 cards. Well, actually 3 cards, because this is also from the handout that we got from the hotel. But those did kind of the heavy lifting on the storytelling. Here's one. This is from 2012, I believe. Yes, it is from 2012. And this is all one day. This is December 2nd. And I am showing that we had a dinner that night and what I made. And I'm showing my kitchen display. This is actually a different year than the one I showed you before, because that was 2013. And so this is representing my day. I remember that year I decided I wanted to try and do it day by day. I did miss a few days, which I think is just fine. But I have a pretty good record of December. And that's one of the best things about December Daily, is getting that record really at the same time each year. I mean, how interesting is it? We don't even have a phone in our home anymore. And here's this cordless phone that we used to have. We live in a different home now than we lived there then. But I still have the same crock pot. It's kind of fun sometimes to see how time changes and how it doesn't. Here's an idea that I really like that I used. I'm trying to think what year this was. I'm sorry, I can't remember. It might be 2011. I think it might be 2014. Anyway, it doesn't matter to you, right? But the idea was that we traveled at Christmas that year. So it's 2012. Excuse me. I do remember now, because we traveled to Disneyland that year at Christmas time, in early December. We went on 12/12/12, December 12th of 2012. And as we traveled, I saw a lot of trees. We saw the one at the Grand California where we stayed. Here is a display from the airport that's made from poinsettias that it was staged like a tree. Here's another one near Disneyland Park. And I also included a scene from Target, a scene from the doctor's office where we had gone earlier in the month, and even a scene from the governor's mansion. My husband and I attended an event there. And I had all these random tree and Christmas photos, and I didn't really have like one day that I just wanted to focus on those. I could have made a page about going to the doctor's office, or I could have made a page just about the governor's mansion, or any of these things. But I just decided to combine them all and to talk about how I love to see decorations in public places. And that I'm glad I have my camera with me and I can snap pictures of those. So be creative in your approach to documenting December. It doesn't have to look like what everyone else is doing. You can do what you like. And that's, I hope, the most important message you take away from this video. All right, sometimes just doing a photo collage, and I'm sorry, I must have gotten the web version of this one. It's just a little blurry, and it's something I had posted on my blog a long time ago. So this is from 2011. So I apologize for the blur, but you can get the idea that I just took these 4 photos I had taken from around the house, added some text, and put them in, 2 by 2 to make a 4 photo collage. And that was my layout. Now, you don't just have to focus on photos or memories. You can use Christmas scrapbooking supplies to tell other stories or to create other projects. And this is one of our favorite Christmas recipes, just a simple Christmas cookie, but they always look really pretty because they're kind of pink and they look quite festive. So I just typed up this recipe and added the paper on the border. And this is in a standard size paper. And this is something where several years ago I created binders for my family that they are basically cookbooks and kind of my how-to manuals, where I also include some other tips from for about cleaning, or even included some funny things from the kids. And like my daughter, when she was in preschool, her preschool did a little cookbook where they interviewed the kids about how things would be made. I included copies of that, and I just put them all together in a binder and gave them as gifts one year. So that's an idea for you too, is use your scrapbook supplies and just put together some documents and make them festive looking. I do like that standard size piece of paper. This is an older one, so I like that standard size layout. And I just included a bunch of photos to represent what was happening in December and put that in a binder. And here are, I love to go to, there's a local store called Cactus and Tropicals. They have beautiful plants. Any sort of nursery would probably be fun to visit at this time of year too, and to take pictures of all the color. So pretty. And just include those. Now, if you do like that standard size, I have this template set that's really useful, and it's easy to just drag the photos right in and add a little bit of journaling and you're done. Now, some people like to do any other size. Like this is a 5x7. I did one year just to create a collage of some photos. I've seen people doing a 4x6 album or 6x8. And you can really, whatever you want to put together. Some people will even just put together the pages and 3-hole punch them and add some ribbons instead of using an album. So just make sure you're using something sturdy to print on if you're doing that. But that's also a great idea. But I just love this time of year, and I love being able to document it in so many different ways. As you can see, I don't follow one formula year to year. Some people do. Some people have a certain album that they always add to each year. Some people do a different album for each year. Some just might take a few December photos and mix them in with their regular family photo books, and that's great too. I hope I've given you lots of ideas for how you might want to approach documenting and scrapbooking the memories of this time of year, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. Be sure to sign up for my newsletter. I have a new one about ready to come out in the next day or so, and I will always be including a free download in each newsletter. So be sure that you don't miss any and that you get signed up. And I appreciate you watching today, and happy holidays.